Stream health. Says there's 2 people waiting. Oh, wait. I think I got it. There we go. We got it. All right. So I had to switch to the backup server for YouTube's ingest for live. Interesting. I haven't had to do that before in, what, 7 years of live streaming? Never had to do that. So I'm glad it is now working. But hello and welcome. So I ended up not streaming last weekend. We ended up watching a movie and spend time with the kids because my daughter's watching The Hunger Games, or she's reading The Hunger Games, and then we're watching the movies after she finishes each book. So she's done 2 books so far. We watched 2 movies. So I have done not much over the past, honestly, 2 weeks. It has just socially been very busy. Most evenings I'm either out or just working late even. We had some long days last week. So I have not had as much time as I wanted to do any 3D printing, or really anything. I haven't worked on Lego either. Like I recorded 1 video last week for Lego. It was really simple because I wanted to get my minifigures on the wall. So I did a quick tutorial on displays. So I have one on the wall up here, which is all of my Star Wars figures, and then this one I kind of just threw stuff at it. I don't have all the parts. Oh, hang on, I gotta turn this off. I don't have all the parts I need to do all of them, but it was good enough for a video. And I did. Oh no, I did. I take it back. I did do some printing. I printed with resin. Let me grab these guys. So I did do some resin printing. So I told you guys that I told my daughter and her D&D group to go onto Hero Forge and create characters, and I would buy them and 3D print them for them. And I did do that. So we have here a couple of their minifigures. I don't know if that's going to focus or not. So that's one of them. It's really hard to, actually, let me try this other camera here. Okay, let's try this, if this is any better. Yeah, it's much better. Maybe. Is it any better? Is it still not focusing on my hand? Why do these cameras suck? Anyways, that's one of them. I got another one here with some swords, which was kind of cool. Then we got this like lizard dude. It's like a barbarian lizard guy. And then I'm pretty sure this is their bard with I said it was rats, but it's not rats. It's like what'd she call them? Oh, I forget what my daughter called them. Anyways, they're like not rats. But they do need some cleanup on them, as you can see here in the back. I do need to clean that up a little bit from where the supports were touching. I didn't break out the needle files yet, anything like that. So that is on my to-do list. But again, it was just literally have not had any time this weekend at all. So I think I'm going to try and clean these up as best I can. I just only did it with the very fine snips that I have, but I'm going to get out my knife and kind of round those off, use the files, and then give these a quick coat with some airbrush primer, or I might use the filler primer on them. I'm unsure what I'm going to do yet. So if they want to print them, they can, but at least they will be fully sealed. They're cured. I cured them twice just to really make sure they were sealed, because I'm going to be giving these to the kids. But yeah, I think they came out pretty good. These were printed on the Anycubic Photon, old school, because my Mars, which I'm going to work on tonight, the Mars screen is dead. And this is the OG Mars. This is Elegoo, the OG Elegoo Mars, which I've had for many, many years. Excuse me. And I have done multiple prints with it. I haven't printed much with it lately, but it still was working up until just a few days ago when I posted in the Discord that the screen just kind of flicks and doesn't even turn on sometimes. which is not great. It means a dead screen. So I've reached out to Elegoo, and they said they're willing to give me a quote and work with me on buying a replacement, because you can't buy the replacement on their website, at least as far as I can tell. So the last correspondence I had from them is that they needed to know which type of screen was in this. I'm going to pull up that email real quick from them. Right here. I'm sorry, delayed reply. Thanks for confirming. Please help us confirm which motherboard model of your Mars. So they sent me 3 pictures of 3 different motherboards. I need to confirm which one it is. So I'm going to pop this sucker open, and we're going to see what it is. Hey, Ryan, how you doing, bud? So we're going to switch to this camera to make life easier. And it's pretty simple on how to do this. I'm going to take this off because I don't want to ruin my FEP on there. I don't want to drop this on there. This also, I got this awesome, this is printed out of resin, but it's great for once I finish a print, I can then hang the print platform on here like this, and just all the resin drips down. I can leave it like that for a little while until I get around to cleaning up the print. And I am going to sit over here because I have to get kind of low with this. So what we have to do is, I'm not sure if I can see from the back, but we'll try to open up that first. And it's nice because it is 4 screws. Now, I wanted to print things on this printer because I had intended to keep this one and get rid of the other resin printers. That was the goal. And I need to pause real quick because I am feeling a little bit of resin here where I just put my finger. So I want to clean that off real quick. I wanted to do time lapses with this printer, which is easily able to do with the resin lapse cable. But I bought the resin lapse cable so long ago. I had my old Canon printer, and my new Canon printer, my new Canon camera does not have the same hookup. And of course, each camera manufacturer is a little bit different with how the connection is. So I tried to put the Canon cable, again, this is the resin lapse cable here. I tried to put that cable into my Panasonic, and it starts a video every time. It doesn't actually take a photo. So I need to get a 3.5 to 2.5 female to female adapter so that I can hook up the Canon cable, this Canon cable, to the actual connector on my Canon camera, which is just an absolute pain. So, Ryan would say, I just watched your last live, and I just printed out the dragon from my Micron, and the cow and ducks are one piece now. Oh, they're one piece. Okay, so I reprinted that, Ryan. So hang on a second. I just went in and combined the, shoot. All right, I don't know if there's another one that I missed up. I just went in and combined the bodies, so it's all one piece now. That was easy enough to do. So I did reprint this as one piece, but they need to do better about updating their STLs or their the CAD file. Kit, hello, and my brother's here. Hey, hey. So, sucker is tight to get this back part off. I think I should be able to see the board this way. Yeah, there it is right there. I can't really see all of it. So let's just pull off the front too so we can have a good look with it. It is interesting the way they did this because it's just kind of these, there's these 2 towers kind of holding up the 2 parts, and then these kind of sandwich in to give it stability. There we go. Here's a look at the motherboard from this. And this is a V2.9. Interesting. The cable's not broken, which is good. I was slightly worried about the cable somehow getting damaged. It doesn't look like there's any other way to hook anything up to this board, which is a shame. So if we go and I look at the email, nope, this one and this one. So this looks like it is A. Yep, because it's got the blue connector on there, which none of the other ones have. So this is a very, very early version of this printer. And they have everything kind of, they secured a bunch of it with hot glue, which is kind of funny. I don't know why they would, I mean, that's a really loose connection. Holy heck, that is loose. So what I did do is again, as I was getting ready to do the resin laps, whoops, I lost my chat here, sorry. I was getting ready to do the resin lap, so I just kind of had drilled and chamfered a hole in the back so I could just run the cable, and then I had tested it, and if I mount it to the top here and just put it right near where this cone comes up, this is where the UV LED is at the bottom of this. It shines up and that activates that, there's a, what's it called, a photo, there's a little, right there at the end of it, a photo something. Anyways, when a light hits that, it will activate. And that's what has it take a picture. And so it takes a picture every layer. So I wanted to do that with this printer, again, as I was going to keep it. I still hope to keep it, because honestly, I like it a little bit better than the Photon. But now I know which it is. And replacing the screen is literally just, it's 4 screws holding it in, undo the cable, put the new one on, and you're off to the races. It's not difficult at all. So it's nice to get that done. But they sent me that email on, I think it was like Thursday. So I'm going to get back to them tonight so that when China gets in a few hours, maybe they'll reply. They've been replying pretty quick, honestly, with their service emails. So I'm hoping a new screen is like maybe 20 bucks, 30 at max. Because again, I would just rather keep this one. I don't know, it is kind of hard to decide though which one I want to keep, because the other one I've modified for, you know, I've put that carbon filter on it. This one's just easier to work with because it's so open. So 3DHP, how you doing? But let's get this last one in here. Yeah, so all those are back on now. So it's just really a bummer that this screen decided to die on me, because that's like, this printer does work well. It has for a long time. Try to clean up this side again here. Looks like there's some old resin on the side of it. I mean, I don't use resin printers that often. It's just not a need. I've turned down a few recent inquiries on resin printers and resin as well, because resin A is hard for me to get because it is a liquid and I can't really mail liquids to where I'm at. And they always want to send a full liter, which is too much. If they want to send me 500 mils, that's fine, but they want to send full liters, and that's just too much. Cannot get that shipped to me. So think it does need a little bit of a clean. My screen looks cracked. Is that cracked? Where would that have happened? I can see a check mark through there. Let me get the power cable. I wonder if it'll reach. It will not, but I can do this way. Watch the screen work now all of a sudden. I mean, it still needs replaced because it's definitely a problem child. Let's see what happens here. Yeah, see, yeah, see, it just kind of goes like that. Tools, expose. It still works, but the top definitely has a bit of a crack in there. I don't know if there's no way I can see. Just goes here and across. It still looks fine. I think it's just the glass, but I've printed recently with it and it works just fine. But you can see just kind of how the screen is just, you know, gobbledygook. You had to print, you had to replace the touchscreen or the LCD up top. I mean, this is also a very much older resin printer because the screen is only a 2.7K and they're up to what, like 8 and 16Ks now. And see now I turned it back on, there's not even a display there. The top LCD. Because they're both LCDs technically. But I guess if you're talking LCD, this guy up top then. And also it keeps resetting the language, which is also not great. So it's definitely having an issue right now. So I'm kind of hoping that once I get a new screen, I can then have this just work for me. Also touch one time was my first in there. No on their own. Yeah, it doesn't even turn on now. So I don't know. We'll see what the quote comes back, what they quote me to replace it. Because again, if it's any more than like 20-ish bucks, it's probably not worth it for my workflow to replace it. I mean, I really like this one. This has always been an enjoyable printer to use. Aside from the screen, never had any issues with it. Anything else here? Yeah, that was really it for this one. Because also I had went ahead and put there's some strings from hot glue when I was hot gluing the other day. I just super glued a handle onto the top, and that just really helps for quick operation of this. And it's nice that it just kind of goes there and does that. You can pull it on and off. The only, again, an issue, I kind of downside this, if you are going to do a resin lapse, and I have my windows closed in the back there, the curtains are always closed, so I'm not worried about UV coming in. But by taking this off, I introduce and allow dust to really get in, where if I'm doing something with the Anycubic Photon, it has, oh wait, IPA cracks plastic, doesn't it? Can't put IPA on there to clean that off. It only has a door that opens up. So 3 of the sides are still enclosed. I mean, I guess 4, because the top is technically still closed. It's just the front that's open. So I'm allowing less debris to get into the printer while doing a time lapse. So it's kind of like, you know, not really sure which way I want to go with it. This is just a little bit newer. It's a smidge faster of a printer, but I got to get it out of the way now. Oops. Fix the foot. I'll worry about the foot later. It's not level, but that's fine. I'm not printing with it right now. So I had also, when I print, I shouldn't say also. So when I printed these minifigures, I pulled out an old bottle of resin. Let me change my camera here. I pulled out an old bottle of dragon resin. This stuff smelled so bad. I mean, I couldn't stand it. I've had great luck with most of the, what was that last one I just printed with? So the Nova 3D, great. Almost zero smell to it. Certain Anycubics, zero smell. Their green smelled really bad. This dragon stuff, because I was like, oh, I usually start the prints at night. You know, I'm going to go to bed soon, so I'll just kick this off, let it run overnight, I'll close the door. As soon as I opened the bottle, I was like, oh my God, this is barely going to work. So I had to end up opening up both the windows back there. Excuse me. Made sure my ceiling fan was on high, and closed the door. And you could still smell it coming into the house. It was just brutal. So, I mean, because you really shouldn't be breathing a lot of that in. It was just tough, absolutely tough. So I don't know if I will use any more of that resin because of the smell of it. So another thing I need to do tonight is I have my bottle open. Shoot, I dropped some. Hang on. I think that was just the button thing I dropped. Oh, shucks. Where's my phone? I need my flashlight. Hate when I drop things. There it is. Yeah, it was just the button. So I've got my bottle opener here, and for some reason it doesn't work anymore. There's something wrong with the board that is in here. So I'm just going to reflow the connections real quick because I'm not sure what's going on here. Just gonna do that here. Go to this. That's why they call it dragon. Yeah. So yeah, this I confirmed it works. I hooked it up to my bench power supply just directly to the motor. Motor spins just fine. I think there's something wrong with the board here. This is not an expensive piece of electronics. I will be clear about that. This thing was like 15 bucks off Amazon. It's a pretty cheap thing, but I don't like to replace things for no reason. So I'm going to make an attempt at fixing this, and then I'll know if I need to buy a new one or not. But it's just a simple, you know, rocking switch inside here. It's black, you can't see, but it's a simple rocking switch there that does it. Kurt Skegg Hobbies, how you doing? I'm done with the 3D printing at the moment. I want to try to fix this real quick. And I've hooked up I tried new batteries. I hooked up my bench power supply to the inputs here, and I'm still not getting anything. So I just want to do a simple, actually, before I do that, that's what I want to do. I want to do a quick connectivity test and see if I can tone out where the problem might be. Okay. So it's There's a couple different connections here. This is going to be really hard to tone out as well, simply because I kind of need a third hand to try and hold these. I think a reflow is just going to be the simplest thing to do, is just to make sure that these are all having a good connection. Maybe something has happened. Whoops, I didn't replace the tip on this. Oh. And it need to put a new battery on too. How about? I love this thing. This Ryobi soldering iron is fantastic. It heats up quickly. Wait, actually, wait, turn that off real quick. I gotta change out the tip. It fits most of my old tips. Fit in it just fine. How hot is that? It's getting hot. It's not terribly hot yet, but hot enough I don't want to touch it. Most of the tips I have fit with it, which is great. I didn't have to buy new parts for it. And I just love that I can just move it around and it's just this. So that's why it is super easy to just change out the tip. So I had, this was my, the tip I had in there was for heat insets because I was working on the Volron recently. I think my brother had this. Whoops. I think my brother had this one. He also had the rotary station, which I bought that as well. That's what's right here. That's the rotary station my brother had, so I got that. But yeah, I mean it's quick change for that. It's got a very big grip to it, which is nice. I should probably go grab my soldering let me get this thing over here. My helping hands might help me. Let go. So I also really like this helping hands that I got here. I had a Weller for like many years, but I decided I didn't want the actually, let's just do it this way here. I didn't want to worry about the constants of having to not be able to move it where I wanted to move it, and having a cord there, and the cord was just kind of a pain. So when I bought this, I went and bought this new helping hand set, which has been just awesome to have around. It just makes working on things so much easier. I have to go hotter. So all I want to do is just heat these up so that they reflow. I add a little bit of solder if I need to. But yeah, again, just having this thing be mobile is absolute game changer. I would say it's definitely not something that everybody would need, simply because if you do all of your work at a desk, I think it's fine to use a corded version that I had for, again, 11 or 12 years. But for me, I don't want to have to constantly move my printers from wherever they are to my workbench over there, or try to run cables, and then you're also limited to how far you are from the base to have this. Well, if I can move the base closer, and then I have this, and this has a fair, long enough cable on it. Doggone bug. This just is so much better. It's just amazing. This is, yes, from Amazon. It also has a magnetic magnifying glass with a light on it, which I just left up there. So that is USB powered. So that, you know, again, if it was battery, it might be a little bit better, but it's not. So I was just wondering if any of these have like worn down. It's definitely making connection. So let me go try this real quick. I'm just gonna go hook it up to the power station real quick. And we'll see if we get any results here. Positive. Negative. Okay, let's give it some power. Hey, hey. Huh, okay. Forward works. Reverse no longer works. Okay. So forward works after doing that, but reverse does not. So that's kind of a pain. So kind of can see how this is working here. We've got our power comes from the 4 batteries into the board, and then you've got 2 touch pins, and then we've got this is just to tell it to stop running. There's a safety here. It doesn't make any noise in reverse. So it's almost as if it is not having that connection. So I'm going to reflow those touch points now. And see if that helps, because those touch points are also soldered on. I mean, and it's pretty simple. There is a single, oops, I pushed that one through too much. Whoops. Okay, fix that real quick. Which one is it? This one. Oh, that's hot. Ooh, that's hot. Need a pair of those pliers. Where are they at? Come on. There we go. Okay, let's see if that changes anything now. I could pull off the old solder, but usually reflowing does a pretty good job at this kind of issue. Usually. But I mean, every piece of electronics is different. All right, cool. Well, now it doesn't work at all anymore. Shucks. Oh, there we go. There's reverse. Oh, there's forward. No reverse still. Forward works. No reverse. All right, well, let's do that. Let's put some new solder on there. See if that helps it at all. There's a cricket right outside my window. You can hear that sucker going. So the wires are definitely good because it's all touch points. So it's just this. It is from a cork. It puts it on your bottle and it spins the corkscrew down into it and helps you pop the bottle. The wires are definitely all good because the sensor wires work, power from the batteries works, and power to the motor works. So it is just something on the board that is having issue. So we're going to clean up the board. That's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna desolder some of these and pull off the solder, and then we're going to I'm gonna redo some of these. I've had this solder sucker for like ever. It's the Soldapult. Oh man. I've had this thing for I don't even know where I think this was my dad's actually. Yeah, I mean it is huge. I think it was my dad's when he was my dad was an industrial electrician and used to work on all kinds of things. And so I learned most of my electronics, or like wiring at least, was from my dad, working on the house and just learning how to do random things from him. But again, I think so I can try to take this one off here. These are the two that are not working. Oh, hang on a second. Get that off there. Oops, it slipped off. Wait. These are super strong magnets that hold this thing into place. These help quite a bit. All right, so now let's take a look at this here. Yeah, I don't like, looks to be like something, corrosion or something around the negative of the power in. And sadly, that's the only power input there is to this board. There's no other power input that I can see. So I'm wondering if that is the issue. So let's try to clean the board off. I mean, again, I know the power in from it is good because it's going at least from forward direction. It's just in reverse. It's not working in reverse. So you gonna fit back in the hole? Okay, so pinch these down just a smidge here. Positive. Negative. Yeah, I just thought, I mean, it's just this thing just holds so well. Like, you can't really argue with it. I like it. Also got this solder from my dad, and this will last you my entire life. I mean, I have soldered every single 3D printer in here with this same thing of solder with 0 issues, and never once have I ever like got even close to using it up. It's like a family heirloom at this point for just how much solder there is to it. My dad probably bought it like how long ago? There's not even a date on it. I've always wanted to know how old this spool was. No idea. Okay. Now let's go ahead and do the power back on our power inputs. There's the positive, negative. Come on. Just pinch this way for me. Ah, good gravy. It's not wanting to fit back in. There we go. All right, so the positive go that way, negative pinch you that way. Okay. Now we can dip, 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 dip. Clean solder tip. That. And like that. Those are all reattached now. And again, the sensor wires seem to be working just fine, so I'm not going to redo those ones at all. It's just such a simple board. I would honestly be kind of shocked if I December 23rd, 1992, that's whenever this solder's from? Oh, you have the other spool. So my brother has the other spool of this. Yeah, this doesn't have a date on it. That is funny. So this is from 1992. Lead all up in this, I bet. That's funny. Thanks, bro. Oh, I need to redo the where the things come back, where the touch points are. Okay, need to pinch that back through again. Heat this one up. There we go. And need to do the same thing with the other one too. There it is. Okay. All right, let's go back over to the power supply. Hey, Llama, how you doing, bud? All right, so negative, positive, power. Forward works. Nothing on negative, though. Or reverse, I should say, not negative. Reverse does not work. So I'm wondering if there could be something wrong with the... Because there is a fuse between the leads. And that is just to, I think, prevent back voltage when you're switching directions. Don't really know. That connection's there. I don't think that's right. I think there might be something wrong with the board at this point, because it's definitely, that's all negative. This one is positive. This goes over to here. I don't know what these 4 connections here are. I wonder if this board is like on AliExpress or something like that. How funny would that be? That's what just, so you just said that. So it's, I don't know, I'm gonna search the part number on Google and just see what it comes up. So it is a KLT dash KB1 dash 01801A dash 03. There's a dash vol V01. 601801. Oh, that's actually like the part number for the thing. Like, it takes me to the manufacturer website. Let me switch here. So, yeah, like this top result was for the actual thing. Board that I could get? They're gonna say no. That's funny. Dash V01. That's, yeah, because that's at the end of it, but it's board. Whoop. No. Yeah, it's... Do it as an image search. It's all just that same thing. Yeah, it's like just the freaking number for it for this company. Again, this is me being like super cheap and trying to fix this. Like you said, with the added the V01. Where say V01. Nope. Oh, bueno. The same. Yeah, I mean, again, there's no reason to replace something if you can fix it. And regardless of how small something is, you should try to fix it. Let's try just this. No, and we take off the A, maybe we get a board. No. Nope, nope, nope. Doggone it, I keep setting this thing down and the magnet in the motor keeps picking up all the screws. What else could be the problem on this thing? I mean, it's clearly it's getting the proper power. It's just the connection through the thing. I guess we could try something else. Let's try. I wonder if I can. Motley would be so proud. Fix it until it's properly broken. I'm gonna disconnect the sensor. So sensor negative is pink, sensor positive is yellow. So if I forget, I'm gonna rely on you guys to tell me that. Just want to disconnect the sensor, and now let's go give it a power test and see what happens. Because if I can do it without the sensor, I can just be careful with it. If the sensor is what's causing my problem here. Doesn't work at all without the sensor. Yeah, it won't work at all without the sensor. I mean, and when I say sensor, it is just another connection point. That when it pulls it all the way in, it tells it to stop. So that is not helpful. Oh, excuse me. Pull this solder off. There we go. So I need to bring this up higher. I need to hold on to the corkscrew. There we go. Yellow is positive. Pink is negative. Just resolder these on real quick. I think the board is toast. You know, it's not like I'll ever find a schematic for this. Like, I would be shocked. But just sucks because the only way I was able to get this to go in reverse was to hook up my my bench power supply to it. The only way to get it to go in reverse. Yeah, it's a bugger. I have one without motors, but the one with motors is fun. It's funner. I mean, doing stuff with power is just better. Let's see if a little bit more power would help. No, I was running at 3.6 volts, 1 amp. And up to 6 volts, it was no difference. Just seeing if it needed more power for reverse, maybe, you know? I mean, but technically, it's 9 volts. Maybe not. It's only 6 volts. Yeah, just nothing there. Gosh, that's annoying. Well, I think it's properly dead, unless I figure out a way to do a switch myself for it. So the compressed air ones are really cool, but the problem is that I can't get the compressed air here. So they're really cool, but cannot get compressed air in those tubes here. So more power. Yeah, I tried up to 9 volts and went really fast, but still nothing in reverse. So I'm just wondering, how can I engineer this to work in a positive and negative direction? I wonder, how can I do that? A 3-way switch, right? Or do you have to have some type of logic board? I've got switches. Like, can I make this? I don't have 3-way switches though. A few regular switches. I can, but then it only goes one direction. So I have to figure out how to reverse direction. Because you obviously have to, you know, suck the, you have to pull the cork in, and then you have to put it in reverse to push it back out. Mini drone boards. Left, right, could wire, forward, reverse. This would be really good for PCBWay, who would love to sponsor me again to like help me with this, but there's no schematic. Just looking through a couple other searches real quick. Yeah, the mini drone board is probably worth more than. That is truth. It would be like RC, have an RC corkscrew. That would be ridiculous. I mean, the traces look pretty simple. Because all it does is, by pressing on these connectors, it's just whether it's bridging positive negative this way or positive negative this way. That's the difference. 3D printed corkscrew. There we go. Take the motor out of this one that's broken. The traces, you mean? Are any of the... No, the cables are all right. But again, if a trace is having a problem... Not that I can really tell. Like, not that I can really see here. Unless that one there is, but they all look okay. Because these aren't hooked up to anything, right? No, they are hooked up to positive and negative. So, the one has a little bit of discoloration. Where is it at? Let's see if I can get this to focus on it. So right there, a little bit of discoloration of the trace. And that is the negative motor lead going to the sensor. So I could also try manually. Let me try that real quick. I'm going to I'm gonna put some power to it. Actually, I'm gonna put this away because with this is not gonna work. I'm gonna put power to it. I'm gonna try to see if I can just use a little pogo pin thing here to do it. Okay. Whoa. Okay. It definitely makes connectivity there. So I can get sparks between the two. Wait, what'd I do? Shoot, did I really kill it now? No, it still works. Okay, turn the voltage down a little bit. Like, it definitely makes connectivity, so it has to be a trace on the board. Because if I touch the two sides together, the positive and negative, then they spark. Safety works. Just going this way doesn't. Nope, off. Back on. I think I messed with this thing enough. Might be a lost cause here. But we will try to scrape that one trace, and where's my awl? I'm try to scrape that trace and put a little bead on it and see if that can fix it. thing's already toast. As Llama said, work on it till it's properly broke. It is a 3.6 volt reversing switch with a cutoff. There's a sensor on it. Turn this back on real quick. Just solder over this trace here where I think it might be broken. Just exposing a little bit of the copper there to work. See if it works. You know, stinking sensor. I mean, could do without it. That looks to be good there. Just weird how this would like randomly happen, you know? Like, I used it 2 weeks ago, no issue. Went to use it last night, and again, the forward worked just fine, but reverse was like, no. Nope. Forward still works, reverse does not. I'm also really not fully understanding how this works, to be honest. The way these traces are doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Because like this is positive. No, this is a negative. And this is going to that sensor. And this is going to what? Nothing that I can tell. But the two together make it work. Underneath, it goes up to positive. Okay, well, I'm going to call that for tonight. If anybody has any suggestions, throw it in the Discord, and we'll look at it at a later date. But that's it for that. See you later, man. Thanks for hanging out. No, the sensor is a, it is, I'll show you what the sensor is. The sensor is two wires touching each other. So it's this right here. This is the sensor part of it. And if it's like this, it's normal operation. But as soon as this comes up and this gets tripped, it opens that connection and then it stops the motor from going. But normally, it's normally closed connection there. So, yeah. I like this thing too, though. It was a nice, worked out well, but I guess I could open up the PCB software and try to design it. It's just a 2-layer PCB, so it won't go to reverse at all. Again, I would think it's broken trace, because what you do is it's the 2 contacts will go in either way. So it's reverse this way or reverse that, forward this way or reverse that way. But I think I would need to, in order to fully understand the way this works, I would need to load it into the PCB software and then try to design it myself and make it look like this and see if that solves the problem. But again, that's the tough part, is figuring it all out. What connects to where and why that does that. You know what I mean? So yeah. I'm gonna leave it at that. Maybe I'll pull it up. But so yeah, so it's a lot of broken things in the shop right now. So I will get the information out to Eligoo about the screen, see if I can get that working. If not, probably have to bin it, just because I'm not gonna pay a ton of money to have a screen on a printer that I barely use. And no one here is going to buy that. No one does resin printing here, and shipping out would cost $50. So no one's going to buy it and pay $50 shipping. So, especially because it's also like a 5-year-old printer, no one's going to pay that money for it. So that will just be that. The fan, so last update is the fans for the V0 that's here on my desk, finally shipped, I think on Monday. They finally shipped, even though I bought them a week and a half ago. I'm hoping that they come in next week. It probably won't be. It'll probably be the week after. So probably 2 weeks until I can get the V0 back up and working. I did order 2 sets of those, 2 sets of those fans, so that if I do get it working and I like it on the V0, we might do it over on the Legacy. So that is a direct drive instead of being, right now it's a Bowden. So I do like the direct drive a little bit better. See you, Llama. So yeah, that's going to be it for me tonight. I should be back next week, hopefully, maybe with fans. If not, so be it. We'll work on something else. I'll probably put an update about the corkscrew for those of you that care in the Discord, as I'm working on things, and see if I can get it going. So, all right, everybody, have a good weekend, or have a good week, I guess, because the week's coming up. If you want to help out, there's links down below. Like the stream, all that jazz. I'll see you guys next week. Happy printing, and see ya.